What's up? Just a little video on, it's July 24th. Guys are getting a little bit of the itch, getting little bugs, and I'm getting, some questions online saying, hey, Rob, where do I start? I found a new area. I got some areas I want to check out, and what would you your best bet to where I would start at? And here's a couple tips and what to look for. This is, a really, really super beginner where to start when you're starting to want to scout a new area. It's so thick everywhere. You have nowhere. It can be very overwhelming this time of year to check out new areas because it's like super thick. You can't even see 50 yards. And in this video, I'm going to show you a little land terrain feature where you can probably start, and it's probably going to be a little bit thicker. And I'll stop rambling now. So here we go.
Wide open, right? This is a good starting point. But if you keep looking this way, it starts dropping off. See that drop off right there in the road? That means that bottom on both edges of that, where it starts to drop really big, it's going to get thicker. You're going to have a vegetation change, and it's going to get thicker. That is where you want to start scouting, the edges of that. That is a good starting point when you're in a new area. Look for these drop-offs where they're drop down. See that road drops down a little bit right there and comes back up. Get on the edges of that and follow them because it's going to be thick on them. So keep that in mind when you're out scouting in a new area and you're like, okay, where do I start? When you're out and about and you're riding these roads, especially in New Jersey and other places where you're allowed to deer drive with a lot of guys, New Jersey, you can drive deer drives, or I know gun clubs that have 100 guys that line up, 50 on one end, 50 on the other, and they drive to the standards. Look for these marks, little ones, big ones like this. These are drive line marks. This is where they drop the guys off. They'll line them up against that down the road and start driving that way, or they'll stand on this road, and on the other side of this woods, way away, the drivers are lined up and they're driving the deer towards these guys, or vice versa. Now see, here's a spot where you got a little old woods road, and it's going all the way back. I've been hunting these properties since I was a little kid, so I know where all these little trails go. And this is where most of your hunters go. All this wide open woods here. See, you could see probably 200-300 yards in here, and it's midsummer. Could you imagine how open this is once rut comes, November, December, and even January? It's like mosquitoes are crazy. It's wide open. You could see a long ways. So these are the areas that you want to stay away from, because guys are going to park their car and they're going to walk down these roads a couple hundred yards and duck in here, duck in there, whatever the wind's doing. If they get a little thicket, they'll duck in and hunt that. And usually you walk down one of these roads here, and you'll see somebody been hunting one spot for years and years, and you'll see evidence of bait piles, especially in New Jersey. New Jersey is a notorious bait pile. And now here, keep your eye out for little trails going back deep into this. Stay away from there. You don't want to follow them back there. I myself would not, because if you think about it, that's where everybody else is going to be going. And I guarantee somebody's already down there. So stay away from these little trails and stuff. Entryways are so key.
Guys, my point is them spots there, like them little roads and all that stuff, you want to stay away from there. You got to look at the overlooked spots guys go past. Most hunters, they want to go into the easiest accessible places where it's not thick, it's not buggy. Easiest places to get to, and that is what you got to have your mindset to. If you're hunting places that are you're not having a little sweat bead come on you, you're probably not in the right spot. I mean, not always, but you should be doing a little tiny bit of work getting to your spots, a little bit of distance, or it don't have to be that far. It could be very, very overlooked spot. Bucks will sit if you look at some of the spots that I'm pointing out in this video. Bucks are watching that road. Don't think they're not, especially the older bucks. That's how they survive. They're probably back there on an edge in a finger or a bowl or a point of a thicket coming out, or that swamp. There's a giant swamp in there, and they're watching that open woods and watching that road like vultures, man. They're watching that road for guys pulling down there and guys walking down them little woods roads off of that main access trail. So that's how these bucks are surviving, and that's how they react to hunter pressure. So when you're going into a new area, like I said, look for them little spots that people are overlooking and going right by. They're looking at them dirt roads going back into them, going back deep into them big pieces. This is a giant piece. This here, I've been hunting that for years. So, guys, keep that in mind. And more stuff's coming out. I'm going to try to do a video coming up really soon in the woods of me climbing. You're going to see my big ass climbing a tree, setting up, and everything else with my system. And I really want to get that out there before September. But it's just been so blazing hot, and I have not had time. And I appreciate everybody's support. So just bear with me. And remember, man, subscribe and like to the Buckside. Peace.